And I'm gonna drive it in with my impact. My favorite question I've ever been asked, still to this day, is, hey Duckman, did you know that you can strip a bolt with an impact driver? No, I guess I've never heard of that. But did you know you can strip a bolt with a ratchet too? Oh, I wanted to save that for the first drive. When I sit in the driver's seat for the first time, that's when I want to demonstrate the ashtray going. It's an original 1956 Beetle ashtray, which Earl has brilliantly colored, the same as the rest of the body. The chrome is a little less than perfect. I think I can clean it up just a little bit, but in time, I'll get to that. Meanwhile, the ashtray is nice and clean, and it'll never have ashes in it again. Strictly for show only. There it is. I just had to have it. Now you guys get your trim. So if anybody ever asks me about any trim again, I'm going to redirect you to this video. I'd like to make it clear that the outcome of what you see here in this video wasn't luck, and it's not about me being lucky. This was about me having foresight, weighing all the possible scenarios, purchasing the proper equipment, and properly installing it. That doesn't make me lucky. That makes me prepared. However, I never expected it to happen this way. I thought maybe a tool would fall off a shelf or I'd accidentally bring a motorcycle too close. And it's not that my garage is a mess, it's actually quite organized at the moment. But I can't say that it will stay that way forever. It's just very full. There is a difference. But as Eleanore gets assembled, there will be less and less things around. There is nothing that takes up more space in a garage than a disassembled car. If you know, you know. But if you don't know, then save your derogatories, and let me show you just what's going on here. There have been a lot of people that told me that my garage bubble around Eleanore was a waste of time and money, and I probably should put the car in storage somewhere, and what happened today, maybe I could have avoided had the thing been in storage, but it would have been outside of my control, and if something happened inside of a storage unit or facility, while they might claim some responsibility, usually they expect you to use your own insurance in the event something happens. Well, this bubble that I put on Eleanore here, again, everybody says, you know, the $500-something that I spent on it, it's not worth it. You know, why the hell did you do that? Why'd you put it in your own garage for self-custody? Doesn't make any sense to do that. Well, I don't know why this happened, and I can't tell you why, but for 15 years... Uh-oh! There we go, got more daylight, because finally the daylight took a break between the trees there. And I don't know if you can see quite what I see through here, but it's more green than gold. It's remarkable, especially when you get down the side and you look down at the color this way. It turns olive. Gold up here, olive green.
It changes color depending on the light, and I love it.
Yep, all depending on how the angle hits it. And this car being as round and bulby as it is, you know, she really shows off her curves with a color that does that. That was a precursor to the color-changing paints, because this technically isn't a color-changing paint. It's just the angle in which you know, the light's hitting it.
Now, was that this color choice with the difference in the light,
yeah,
making it look different? Was that intentional?
That's actually the way it comes, factory from Volkswagen. Yeah, I can't tell who intended it or how they designed it or what the deal was with it, but no, that's all Volkswagen. This is the original color that actually came on this car. I mean, nobody can argue with that. Some people did say, oh, that's a lousy color choice. It's the original color. You can't say it's wrong. It's the original. I didn't pick this. This came out of Wolfsburg. But wow. Just wow. I mean, full on glowing paint. Wow. Get in there and look. All this beautiful paintwork in the daylight. This is just, you see the little dust particles are showing up there. Oh, you stepped in my sunlight. Now I lost my focus. All them little dust bits that are down there, that's not marks in the paint. That's just the dust that's settled. So this thing shows dirt. Shows dirt pretty readily. See? It shows a bug sitting right there.
You've got bugs that are dancing over here.
Yeah, they're humping. It's bug hump season.
But it's not love bug season yet.
Not here, but it is down the other end of the state.
Not yet.
Earl's got them.
They'll get there.
Earl's got them. There she is. Wow, just look at that paint. This is no effects, by the way. You're actually looking at the raw color, according to what the camera picks it up as. It looks roughly the same on the screen here, but I don't know what it's going to do when we upload it to YouTube. YouTube does whatever the hell they want with my videos, so...
That just means that they gotta start coming to car shows if they want to see it in person.
YouTube does?
No, your viewers.
That is very, very true. I might have to start autographing Eleanor's old rusty parts and giving them to people. It's funny how many times I do get asked for autographs, though. It's like, oh, you're the Duckman. Oh my god, I love your videos. Really? Why? But yeah, that is just...
Keep pestering me about when are you gonna get an engine for the gear? When are you gonna get an engine for the gear?
Watch the videos.
Yeah, watch.
Yep. Yeah, there she is. It's a shame some of it's in the shade from the house.
House shade.
I have to get out here one morning real early one day and roll her out when it's in direct sunlight, when the sun is right there. About 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning.
Do it.
Yeah, that's what I'll have to do. One of those days where it's not too hot out and I can't work in the sun for too long. My frail skin just can't handle it. I might as well be redheaded.
Maybe you were in another life.
Possibly. I am a platinum blonde, though. Well, was. As I got older, it got darker, and now it's going lighter again. You notice my beard turns very, very white, but it grows in dark, and then it turns white in the sun. That's what my platinum hair used to do, too, when I was a kid. It would grow in kind of blonde and then just turn white.
I was blonde when I was a kid, and it got darker when I was, like, maybe 3 or 4.
And then when you hit college, it turned blue.
Afterwards.
Well, yeah. See? Smurf hair.
Yeah. Magically, when I turned 30, my hair turned blue. Wow! Oh, how does that happen?
Magically delicious.
Magic!
Magically delicious. All right, well, let's go ahead and jump on the next. For 15 years, those cabinets were attached to that wall. I hung them myself. They were stable, they were strong, and I had a lot of weight and things on them over the years, and I've never had any problem. Till today. Now, I never heard a crash or anything in the night, because it wasn't like this yesterday, but those cabinets clearly fell down, and they fell right against the bubble. And they did not punch a hole in the bubble, but it also solves the theory that if you lean into it long enough, that you're eventually going to hit the car, and it didn't do that either. So, had this cabinet have fallen, I guarantee you it would have hit the car. It probably would have cost me a minimum of a $1,000 paint repair. I could have gone a lot higher than that and a few $1,000s of body work, but because I had this bubble, Eleanore is 100% safe. She has not been hit by anything inside of there. So for anybody that said that I was wasting my time or my money by putting this here in my garage, you guys are complete fools. Yes, this worked out for me. There's no holes in the bubble as far as I'm concerned. It's going to be easily reusable, and even if it made a little hole in it, this bubble would have gradually and slowly let itself down, and the cabinet would have slowly rested itself against the car, not causing any dents, and maybe at worst case scenario, might have left a little scratch in the paint, something you could have easily buffed out of it. But yeah, this is a cluster, man. I never expected that thing to come down. I really didn't. You know, and over the last few years, I've been taking things off of it, so it's not like it's been like overweight or anything like that. I really don't understand why this would have fallen down at all. I'm looking over there, and you see that plastic rectangle on the wall. That was a tray full of screws, little drawers where all little screws and things come out. I don't even see that. I don't know where it's at anymore. But I'm going to say that the cabinet, when it came down, smashed into it and knocked it down. So it's probably going to be somewhere over here. But I'm not letting any air out of that bubble until I know for sure where it went. Oh, I see it. It's all the way down there. See? And look at that. The light can that's there. These things were deflected by the bubble, and it never hit the side of the car. Eleanore is 100% safe. I'm not doing a commercial for CarCapsule, but I definitely have to tell you guys, this is a survivor story. This is just absolutely incredible. Well, let me go ahead and start cleaning up some stuff around here. I'm going to take those shelves and cabinetry and just get it out of the way. I want to pull Eleanore out and do a little work on her, but until this stuff is cleaned up, of course, I can't do that. Man, look at all this stuff on the ground. It just completely dumped out all my tools and stuff out of that cabinet. Alright, well, guess I have a little fun ahead of me. Thanks for watching, guys. Likey, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to pluck the dingle bay. These are the original cabinets that came with this house from 1968. And wood, like anything else, when it gets old enough, it gets extremely brittle and dry. And that's what happened here. This stuff is just, it's just falling apart. I mean, everything is just super, super dry and just not worth it anymore. And you can see where the screws just pull right through on the wood on these cabinets. Now, I probably could take the two cabinets and rebuild and make a good one, but with wood in this condition, why the hell would I ever think to do that? So what I gotta do is I gotta pick up all my debris over here. There's a lot of Volkswagen parts, computers, mostly electronic Volkswagen parts. I mean, it was a lot of fuel injection computers, some alternators, and a few other related things to that. There's trailer lights, and it was mostly electric stuff, as I said. They were up in those cabinets. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build 3 new shelves, you know, bottom, middle, and a top. And I'm just going to put them in that place. I'm not even going to bother to try to replace those cabinets. However, that plastic box that was there that was hanging all them little screw trays and those little pull-out drawers is still down there. It fell sideways, of course, so it all dumped out. And I'm not going to try to even get that out of there until Eleanore is completely clear and out of the way. And one of the reasons is because all those screws right now are on the outside of the bubble and are over there. If I start moving that thing around, I'm going to end up with screws all in this area, and I'm going to run something over, and it's probably going to stick in my tire. Oh boy. What a day. But again, it's not such a bad day because the bubble did its job. And I'm glad I have it. I really do. So thanks, CarCapsule. You guys will be receiving this video too. I'm going to send it on over to the CarCapsule people. Maybe they can use it as a testimonial or something. I'm not sponsored in any way by them. Who knows? Maybe because of my story, they actually might take care of me in some way, shape, or form. But anyway, yeah, I'm kind of surprised at what happened here. Oh, by the way, all these cabinets, these two here are bad. This one, or is it this one? This one is actually one of the worst. This was the worst, this one's second worst. As I'm looking around, these cabinets are also originally from the house, and if you look there, you see a crack is starting to form. Again, dried wood. So I don't think this cabinet's gonna last that much longer either. I have a couple that are above my toolbox way in there in the corner, and then there's the one that's above Eleanore up there that you guys watched me put in before I put the bubble in the garage. So that one actually did appear to be solid, but I would venture to say, since these cabinets are from 1968, that they're probably just not going to last. The only thing around here from 1968 seems to be any good is Miss Ruby. That's right, Ruby's also in 1968. And this house and Ruby, both 1968. Anyway, yeah, I got a little bit of a mess to clean up and some things to fix, but we'll get back to that. Rob right now is looking for lumber. He's going to buy some new stuff for that. It would cost me just a fortune to put some shelves back up. So he's looking to see if he has any carpentry drop that he's got around, because that's what he does for a living. He's a carpenter. So I should be able to come up with just about everything I need, and I think I even have the screws here to finish up the job and get this thing mounted properly. But that's what I need to do, clean up and put some shelves back together. What appears to have happened is that the cabinets just kind of crumbled. Now, if you're with me and you were concerned with what I was, first thing I thought was I had terminal mites in my wood, and there's nothing worse than terminal mites in your wood except for maybe crabs in your bologna. But nonetheless, it doesn't appear that it's anything like that at all. The studs in here, I actually hammered into that with a spike, and the studs were very, very strong. So I wasn't experiencing anything that would be crumbly like it was termited wood. So, nonetheless, the cabinets just appear to have fallen apart. And it didn't help things that I missed the stud in the middle. But, yeah. It also punched a hole in my drywall as it fell. There's also a hole here, so I'm not quite sure what happened, but I'll have to fix those before I put in any shelves or anything. In fact, you know what? There's another hole up there too. So somehow everything's over here just mashed up the walls. And it fell on top of my CR450 fender that everybody said, don't paint black because it'll show red on it in a couple weeks. Well, this thing has been here in this garage for years, with things being thrown on top of it since, and you're seeing there's only red showing through in a couple spots. In fact, around the edge here, I didn't even do a good paint job, so. Always the people want to tell me I'm wrong. Alright, well that about picks up everything in here that was loose, all the stuff that fell out of the shelf. I'm going to fix up some drywall in here, and waiting on Rob for some shelf components, and we'll get that all put back together. Bubble held up good though, no holes. Yep. Alright, here's that steering column. You may remember it was one of the first things that came home from Earl when I was doing a mail call, I guess about a year ago. There's a steering column. The wide flanged end here is the top, and then the bottom end is smaller. And then we have two rubbers that need to go on. This one, this little rubber gogie, goes at the top, and it's new and sticky, and this is fresh paint, so it's not going to go on. That's what the baby powder's for. And then we have this rubber gogie that goes down at the bottom. And this, I don't think, is going to barely just go on a little bit. And then whenever I press the steering column in, wherever it sits, and that's where it's going to be. But that's what we're looking at here. How about all that? Look at that. Fresh paint. It's another beautiful piece. Now, I know this is probably supposed to be painted the body color, but I wanted something different. I wanted something that stood out, that was unique. And anything else just looked like every other car. But there's just something against the black, against the diamond green, that just really makes it pop. So I wanted this to be that kind of a component. Anyway, a little bit of baby powder inside this rubber gogie, and then we'll slide it into place. Alright, a little bit of baby powder in there. I really don't have to cover the whole thing, but if you try to be careful, you're going to cover it anyway. It's going to slide over the end here. Oh, that's much better. So over that fresh paint, it did not want to go. But that powder made a lot of a difference. I don't know where it's supposed to end up at. But I'm going to venture to say probably right about there. The little Mickey Mouse ears on it actually face up. And then there's a hole in here where the horn bushing would ordinarily go. I don't think we're going to use that, but I think it faces to the right if I'm not mistaken. So that's the way we're going to aim it. Got this little gogie down here. Used to not like doing this because it makes the bushings, because it makes the rubbers kind of a dull looking color, but once this is done, you can use a little soapy water or a little Armor All even and just wipe it right off, so it's not a big deal. That one goes on there just like that. Alright, I'm going to wash my hands, get a wet rag, just wipe off the rest of the powder, and this sucker is ready to install. Okay, up under the dashboard here, or should I say down under, you got two holes, that one and that one, and that's where our steering column bolts are going to go in. I sourced some nice stainless steel not hex-headed, reverse hex-headed bolts, so Allen key bolts, because they look so much more clean and streamlined. Really, I hate these things though because the bolt surface is so much smaller than that of a regular bolt that it's just harder to get them out without stripping the head. So I really hate these things. Anyway, we're going to use them anyway because they are prettier. Are they stock? No. Do they work for Eleanore? Absolutely. But we got to get in there and we got to chase these threads. They're all painted up because Earl was so meticulous. He actually painted in the threads too. That one, on the other hand, the captive nut that's on the back side of that is actually gone. It fell off. Earl had mentioned that to me, but I wasn't the least bit concerned about it because I'll just put a stainless steel nut on the other side. So that'll be done. Simple as that. And if I really feel froggy, I might even just hit it with a little bit of paint. I can brush over it. Alright, well, let's go ahead and chase some threads for starters. Ordinarily, I would not use a drill to thread anything, but since we're just cleaning paint out, should be fine. There we go. Alright. Here's our clamp. Clamp is going to go in there just like that. But first, the steering column itself has to go in. Okay, see where it has to go in on the bottom. I should get it. And the top goes in here just like that. Now I'm going to have to put my camera down because I don't have enough hands. But you can see the Mickey Mouse ear on the rubber gogi right there, and the one on the other side right there. I imagine that stops it from twisting and spinning around in there, but I don't know why it would. This part doesn't actually move. Stainless steel bolt. Okay. Got a little lock washer to put on it. Some people say, oh, lock washers don't lock anything. I don't want to hear it. It's still a washer, and it's stainless steel. And I'm going to drive it in on my impact. My favorite question I've ever been asked, still to this day, is, hey, Duckman, did you know that you can strip a bolt with an impact driver? No, I guess I've never heard of that. But did you know you can strip a bolt with a ratchet too? Just, you know. Alright. This one, on the other hand, is going to go in the other hole, like this. And then I'm going to have to go through the, I'm glad I didn't make that too awfully tight. Gonna need to be slopped around a little bit. Of course, I dropped the nut. Okay, this is just gonna piss me off, so I'm gonna try doing this from outside the car. There we go. Much better. That's a step in the right direction. Hey, there it is installed. It looks nice. Really nice. Again, that black really contrasted the diamond green. That was what I wanted. I think it's supposed to be painted the same color as body, but again, not what I wanted. I wanted something a little different, a little something unique, and something that would stand out. And I think that's what we got. That looks great. The seal's all seated on the bottom nicely. Everything's together, it's solid. It's ready for a steering wheel. Might seem like a minor issue, but something I got working. Glove box, poppy, close, pop open, and close, and open again. This was something Earl had a lot of trouble with, as the dash, particularly in the lower corner here, got sucked in a little bit when I rebuilt this car. So the glove box needed to be tweaked, because normally they're almost completely flat. So it wasn't really a good fit. So anyway, it's sticking out a little bit over here. And in here, it's almost flush. What needs to be done is the rubber over here on this side needs to be trimmed down just a little bit. This one is nice and long, and I'm going to leave it long. And then that should get it adjusted the way that I want it. So I'll make some minor adjustments to the rubber, like I said, but I don't need to tweak the door any at all. All right, we've got my steering column here. All nice and cleaned up. Tuck right on in there. Go all the way through. Here it is. Alright. Just got off. Alright. Got this wonderful OEM steering wheel, Eleanor's original steering wheel, which we'll put on here, just like that. There we go. Don't know if the length is quite right, but when we get down below and make the adjustment, we'll know. And then I can adjust the steering column itself to go forwards or back. Kind of surprising, there's no bearing that goes inside of there. It's just just a bushing, which does need some grease, but this is all going to come back apart before I get that far anyway. Here we go. Coming along. Something else installed. Take out my rear hatch. Out she goes. This seal is a Type 2 bus rear hatch seal, and I thought it went around the lid, but no, I guess I'm wrong. I guess it goes around the flange on the body instead. Yeah, it looks like it just it presses in here, and I imagine it's gonna need a little glue on the backside because this doesn't want to stay in there. I guess we use a little contact cement, maybe even just some spray glue, and see how that works out, but I'm pretty confident it's gonna do the trick. Now that rubber seal really cleaned things up, and the glue made it stick, so it looks like it's gonna be good. Let's go ahead and put the lid back in and see how she seals up. Right as a helicopter flies over. Alright, let's put that lid back in. So much dust on this thing. Okay, back goes in like that, and it should press into place. I don't think I have enough leverage to put weight on it, but it's in there. Yep, it's in there. Needs a little more weight on it. Brand new seal. That one's locked. Now, if I were sitting in the car here with this, I can actually put weight on it, but where I'm standing, I just can't. All the louvers here in the deck lid were stopping me from putting any more weight on, but that lid is now in place. So we have a rear hatch that's now sealed from all the heat, fumes, anything else that'll try to come in, and noise, spiders, rats, ants. But it's good and sealed up, and that hatch has just always looked pretty to me. Again, went with the black. That contrast on the diamond green paint really made all the difference in the world. That steering shaft looks like it goes out a little too far to the left, or the driver's side. I'm actually facing the car backwards, of course, but I think it might be because the steering box is out of alignment. So I'll loosen the bolts on it and just tap it over a little bit. I think it's just not quite where she belongs. But anyway, that's in there good. I dropped the clamp somewhere down here. Yep, there it is. And then somewhere around I have the bolts and the hardware to it, but you know what, I'm gonna leave it right there for the time being because I know where it's at and it's safe. Alright. Here's my glove box, which fell in while I was adjusting everything earlier. I need to make a new clamp for the back of it. I think it goes into that hole right there. It's just simply a band that wraps around it. I'll make something out of a piece of stainless and make it look nice. Alright, this is for all the dick bags out there. Because you know there's going to be some kind of an a-hole that's going to say, Duckman, why are you using that ugly damn steering wheel in such a beautiful car? Well, I'm not. I'm actually looking for a steering wheel. And this is just what I'm sticking in there so that way it becomes momentarily serviceable. Now, for those of you that watched the video and got this far, look down in the video comments. I can guarantee you there's some a-hole down there that would have jumped to conclusions right away and said exactly that. So defend me a little bit. Go ahead and respond to their comment. Licky, likey, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to pluck the dingle belly so you get updates every time I upload a video. Check out duckshit.net for all of my different social media links. More updates coming on Eleanore soon. Things are coming along on this car, and it's mostly little stuff. It's a whole lot of little this and that needs to be set up and hooked up and plugged in, and you know, it's just the nature of the game. And I was saying trim is last, but that's kind of what's left. I mean, I gotta go through the brakes yet, I gotta put the engine in it, but yeah, trim is pretty much what's left. Alright, as Eleanore re-inflates herself over here, I finished up my nice new shelves, and that eliminates all of those cabinets that were up there. That plastic tray drawer screw nonsense, you see this kind of stuff? I can't throw this away because I can't tell you how many times I need a handful of screws, and that stuff is... Just knowing what the hardware costs in these shelves, that stuff is just indispensable. Completely just overpriced, expensive stuff, and I've got a ton of it. And I've got another box over there full of that stuff too. But that box was ripped off the wall over there in that location. Now I just put it up here, and I figure once it's there, I can simply just slide it out, pull some screws out of it, and slide it back in. There's storage behind it, so that all works out nicely. The shelves were just a design I put together. I mean, I'm not the best carpenter in the world. You know, I'm no Jesus Christ, even though I had plenty of prostitute girlfriends. But needless to say, this shelf is tough. And I mean, it doesn't move. I mean, even the bottom ones. And I chose a different angle on the bottom. I went at 30 degrees down here for the corbels. I don't know if you call it a corbel or a bracket. Well, anyway, the diagonal under there. 45 degrees up here, 30 degrees down below. And I made it strong enough for what I wanted. Over there I had to fudge it a little bit because I didn't want to remove the plastic shelf. So that's probably the weakest spot of the entire shelf. So what does that mean? I just don't put anything freakishly heavy on the shelves, and you probably wouldn't want to do that anyway because Eleanore is right here. So that would just be stupid nonsense. But I'm just overjoyed with what I got. Just looking at all of the wood and the screws and everything, what I would have invested in, this probably would have been close to $200 with today's climate of lumber costs and building supplies, and all this was reclaimed from a building that had been on fire. This is actually a house under construction. This is a work site. It just happens to have the car parked here for the minute, but yeah, this house rather was a complete burnout. They lost almost the last half of the house, and it burned so badly and so hot that it melted the siding over here. So for those of you that are wondering what's going on here,
the trees.
Yeah, are the trees burned up too? Oh, I see. They're all burnt on the one side. Yeah, got a little cooked. Yep.
Burnt that tree completely up. Burnt that one up pretty good.
And they knocked down a portion of it, so I just pulled good lumber out of it, and Rob helped me to pick out some of the good parts. So there it is. Great shelves. I can't wait to start stocking them. Celebrating with a nice bourbon and ginger ale. Oh yeah. That first water stain on my new shelves. Anyway, now I gotta put my crap back up here on these shelves. I've also got the idea that I can use some of Dad's old shopping baskets. And I don't know what the hell Dad was up to, but he seemed to have one from just about every defunct grocery store there was. He even has ones from Scotty's hardware store, if you remember those from almost 20 years ago. I have a couple of them around here in the garage, so I think that's probably a good spot where I can put stuff in it and then slide it up. It makes it a whole lot easier to take it down and, you know, yada yada. That should work out good. So I've got a bunch of those. I'll line them up and we'll put things in them and just make it look nice. Oh, the top shelf, by the way, these are 16 inches deep. That one's only 10. And you probably say, hey, why didn't you just bring out 16 inches? Because 16 inches would have brought it to here, which means I can't get anything onto the top. Whereas now at 10 inches wide, I can get all kinds of stuff up there. So that worked out pretty good. But yeah, the top shelf had to be the smaller one. Anyway, I'm happy with what we got. I'm so happy with what we got that I might go and get some more reclaimed lumber, and I might put some more shelving up over here in this area. I've got all the stuff that's up here that would be better if it had a proper home. So that cabinet, which we already know, starting to get brittle and starting to fall apart. This thing needs to go also, so I guess another set of 3 shelves up there would be really nice. Anyway, we'll kick that around. Eleanor's filling up with air, and I think it's time to smash up them old cabinets. Well, not all the pieces are completely rotted. The top is good. This piece of the face is pretty good. And this shelf actually looks pretty good. But particularly the sides and the back were in some really, really bad shape. So as always, you guys, likey, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to pluck the ding bell so you get updates every time I upload a video. Check out duckshit.net for all of my different social media links. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you everybody for supporting me through everything that I do. This channel is starting to grow again. It's been stagnant probably for 6 months to a year, but all of a sudden it just started to explode again. And some people might say, hey, my content might have gotten a little better, but it's the same old stuff. It seems like it just has to do with world events. Whenever there's a lot of activity going on someplace that's not good, my YouTube channel takes off. It's always been that way in the internet services whenever I did internet. Whenever I sold internet services in the past, every time that something would happen in the world, the internet business would go up. No, anyway, I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't care. I'm just happy. And finally, we've got 100,000 subscribers. Not on one channel. It's across the board of all my channels that you guys know about. There's other ones that I share with other people that I'm not going to put up here. But yeah, 100,000 between all. Hopefully DuckmanCycles VW Garage will hit 1,000 sometime before the end of this year, maybe in 2023. I want to get my silver plaque. I mean, that's something to me. And sure, I can go ahead and just buy a silver plaque, but it's different when you actually achieve the proper award for getting the right number, and that's what I'd like. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. And hey, Isaiah, someday you'll get low with the cool kids. Yep.